Hey everyone, hope you're well. I managed to get to Comic Con at the weekend without getting lost. I went to the right Westfield the first time, had a great time. It was very, very, very cool. I actually got down there Saturday morning a bit later than I expected, but it was all right. We went straight to the event and it was massive. It was way bigger than EGX. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. I'd seen a few people tweeting saying that it was a little less packed and there was a little less to do. But when I went there, it's everything I wanted that I normally want. I like walking around the artist alley bit. I like walking around the other stalls. I like having a nose at the famous people from far away, but there's no way I'm spending 500 quid on autographs. I don't collect them. I don't besmirch people who do. I used to do that when I was younger, but it's a dangerous, slippery slope for me. I've got tons. I've got all of the like Buffy, Angel, Firefly people other than the main Buffy and Angel, just all their autographs and that kind of thing in a book, and it's so much money spent over that period of my life that I'm like, no more, thank you. But I didn't see Tom Hiddleston. I realised afterwards. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong because every time I said it, Pab went oh, and I thought I've not bothered checking if I've got his name right there. Anyway, so yeah, we went there on the day, wandered around. Bless my dad, he asked me if I could find him anything Batman, and Emily asked me to find her any cool picture that I could find. And my word, did that break my brain, because finding anything Batman at an event where there should be Batman stuff everywhere is quite a wide, vague description. But then, bless my dad, when I asked him, I begged him at the end of the day, I was like, please, I couldn't figure it out. He was like, just get me a t-shirt or a figurine. And so I thought, yeah, cool, okay, I know they exist. I'll walk around. So I went to every store and there was not one Batman t-shirt in the entire building. It was ridiculous. And then I walked around looking at all the figurines because I couldn't do the both at the same time for some reason. I don't know why. I was just like, no, I need to now look for figurines. And I couldn't. They were either like the right sort of price, but they looked really shoddy and like the kind of thing that Ben and Ollie would play with and break after 5 minutes, or they were more collectible ones, but they were like, I'd have to basically carve out my spleen and give it to them to get it from them. So in the end, I text my dad going, you're getting artwork and whatever else I find. So I got him some things, which I'll give him to him later in the week. But Emily, on the other hand, I was like, you saying get me all some artwork is really hard work. Again, I don't know. I'm 36. I'm a man. I'm different from you. You like different things to me. And she was like, something Disney, something cool. And I'm like, right, okay, there is a Disney store, but they're all just drawings of the people. And I thought, I'm not going to get like an Aladdin and Jasmine picture for a wall. So in the end, I started taking pictures of stores and sending them to her and just saying, is this right? Do you want one of these? And fortunately, she circled something and I just went and bought it. And I thought, oh, I am hard work. I'm terrible. Kev always laughs at the way we do gifts in my family, but that's why, because I'm broken. I've just sorted out Claire's birthday. She came in and she told me she wanted a specific set of straighteners. I've ordered them. They'll arrive soon. Ollie doesn't know what he wants. I've managed to cobble together some geeky stuff for him. Ben had given me the specific instructions, which was very helpful, of getting him a Batman or a Spider-Man robot. There was literally none of them anywhere either. I walked around several shops trying to find it, several stalls. So he got a Spider-Man book and a book about a wooden robot. There was we happened to go to a place called Gosh in London. I don't know what that stands for. I should have figured that out. But it's a comic book shop. It's like an indie, nerdy, geeky, trendy one. And they had this big display on for this signed copies of this, the wooden robot and his princess sister or something like that. The wooden robot and the princess. So I got Ben that because it looks right up his street. He likes robots. He likes princesses. And yeah, he seemed excited when he got it. I got him a little Spider-Man book as well, just in case he was like, I don't know what this is. And he was happy. Ollie was super easy because I just got Ollie a pile of Adventure Time books. For some reason, Forbidden Planet are just throwing around £1 Adventure Time books. So I just got as many as I could find that I knew he didn't have. To be fair as well, it's the second time I've done it in there. Got him I got him like 6 or 7 books. And across the 14 books that I've got him in the 2 trips I've done, only one was a double. And bless him, he read the first 6 in like one go, and he's read most of the ones I got him on when I handed him them on Sunday. So he was very happy. So yeah, I literally almost went the whole event without getting myself anything. I'm just trying to find the thing I did get because I was going to talk about that, and it's not in front of me. It's on my shelf. But I basically that was what I spent the first day and the second day doing, finding all that stuff. We went into London to get some jam. I got Claire some honey and some marmalade in Fortnum and Mason because Kev and Pab are obsessed with going there and getting jam. And this time I thought, you know what, I will. When I got home, Claire announced she was giving up sugar for a bit. And so I'm now eating marmalade and honey. I think she had a little bit of it, but yeah, she was like, I'm not eating sugar anymore. And I was like, damn it. I mean, I had spoken to her about buying them as well. I don't know how this happened. So, yeah, onto the panel. I was so stupidly nervous about doing this panel. Kev kind of gave me a shout late last week saying, would I come on it with him? The Aspie world had dropped out. They needed a fourth person. Could I just come and sit? We talked briefly about it, and the plan was I was just going to kind of I thought I'll speak when spoken to. I'll speak when there's a silence or whatever. And it'll be fine. I won't involve myself too much. People aren't there to see me, kind of thing. But then we didn't do it that way. It was really nice. We sat down. It was like, so I was with Kev, a lady called Rachel or Rach. I don't know if it's Rachel. Rach is how I know her. And Bex, who goes by the name Schnumn. And so Rach does Adulting ADHD is her profile online. And Bex is Schnumm online, who's an artist, a fantastic artist, does a lot of autism-related or neurodiversity-related artwork, but that's not all she does. She does lots of other artwork. She was really talented. I'd seen her work before. I did say that to her, and I felt really awkward being like, I already know your work, and that was really exciting knowing that you were going to be on the panel because I've obviously met Kev. I know Kev. It was less exciting to meet Kev. Well, I was excited to see him again. Obviously, it wasn't a novelty, whereas meeting these two, they were very cool. And I don't know if I said this on the last vlog, but at some point between being asked and the morning, I had a quick look to see it, like just how many followers they had, how big they were, and realized that between the three of them, they had like several 100,000 followers. And I barely had several hundred. I was like less than 2,000. I think even on Twitter alone, it was like I was on below 2,000 and they were in the 50,000s. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm sat next to these people who are genuinely like making a living out of what they're doing, and they're properly established people that are bumbling along growing. And there I am. I mean, I know I was just pitching in, and I'm not saying this in like a get your violins out kind of thing. I was more of a, this is ridiculous. What a world. My life is ridiculous. So that made me super pumped. And we sat down. It went in like an order of Kev, Rach, me, Schnum in a row. And bless her, she'd sat at the end because she thought that meant she'd answer last. But every time someone asked a question, Kev looked down the row and we all looked to the left. And she didn't have anyone left to look left to. And so it became a bit of a pattern that someone would ask, like Kev would ask a question, and then I'd sort of sit back and either let Rachel Schnum answer. And then once we kind of all answered, I'd give a little answer or whatever. But it quickly became noticeable. People were just like, cool, yeah, this is fine. Just say what you want. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to join in. We'll all have an answer. We'll all give a brief answer and then we'll pass on to the next person. We were just riffing off each other's answers as you would. And it all just felt really comfortable and really nice. It was good. I didn't expect to, I don't know how to word this. I was kind of assuming I was going to sit down and, like I do on the vlogs, talk about Ollie or Ollie's progress to getting a diagnosis and the problems with school and whatever else and blah, blah, blah. And there were a couple of questions about that, but which there were a couple of questions about some people with their kids and what they needed help with and stuff like that. And I was able to offer a proper answer about it. So somebody asked, it was Andy Barter who asked in my comments, funny enough, he asked about whether it was worth getting his 14-year-old a diagnosis because by the time they get it, they'll be over 16 and it won't have helped their GCSEs. And I was able to, we gave answers, but then I suddenly thought as I was answering, it's not really what you need. You need the EHCP. The EHCP can happen without a diagnosis. So I gave that answer and I felt really like, boom, I've given an answer there that no one else had given because I knew that. That's fundamentally something I'm knowledgeable about. But what really made me feel good after it was, and I said this, so when I got home, I'm in a group called ASD Deepings run by some autistic ladies in Deeping. And I was talking to one of them before it, telling her that was going on it. And I was a bit like nervous because I felt like, I don't really have any kind of established expertise or anything like that. I'm just helping out. And so we were having a chat about things I could bring up maybe. And I said to her, those things didn't really come up. But one thing that I started to feel quite strongly during it, like after about halfway through, I suddenly thought to myself, everyone here is either autistic or knows someone who is, or they're related to someone who is, or whatever it is, and they're passionate about neurodiversity and that kind of thing. Not everyone was autistic. Some were people with ADHD. Obviously, they're all interconnected in different ways. Neurodiversity was the broad name that they put on the panel. And So when I started talking about my experiences, it was like they all kind of understood it. So I sort of started a sentence with, "I'm not the most self-aware person," and literally like everyone that I could see was just like, "Yeah, same." And I started talking about the fact that the only reason I didn't pick up on Ollie's diagnosis early because I thought he was very much like I was growing up, and so I just assumed. I was telling Kev this a bit more detail afterwards, that I just assumed that all the things that were wrong or different or bad or negative or whatever it was that were causing him trouble were probably just learned off of me, and I was negatively impacting him. But then actually now, because he's diagnosed and he's sorted, it's made me realize that actually they were things that because I'm similar. As I've told you, I'm going through the diagnosis process myself, and all of the things that they were flagging as things that okay, this is an idea, this is a thing that points to him being autistic, were signs that I was too. And it was like we were just chatting away, and I said to this lady the other day, I was like, it feels like it was the first time I was in a room full of people just talking about it and not feeling like I was holding anything back, because I feel like sometimes on the vlog, and this isn't meant to make anyone feel awkward. Like, I don't want to say something and my mum be like, "I don't think that's right," or "I don't agree with that," or "I'm surprised by that," or do you know what I mean? I'm wary that if I say something, my mum or my sister or my dad or some of my friends or my colleagues might see it, and so I don't say it as clearly as maybe I want to. And it's not because I'm afraid. I don't know. I hadn't really realised I was doing it until I was sitting in this room and I just started talking, and it was all just experience or fact or life or understanding or perception or whatever, and people were just taking it and being like, "Yeah, I feel exactly the same." And it was really weird, really nice being in a room full of people where everyone just kind of got that. And so I felt like I got way more out of it than I expected to, because I felt a bit more like, okay, some of this stuff is really common stuff that you lot get that I didn't realize would be that easy to find people who got it. I know if I'd have brought it up, just as an example, if I was sat, having drinks with my mates the other week and I'd said half the stuff I'd said, they'd have been like, "I don't really understand," or "I don't really agree." It was funny because I'd called myself socially awkward to one of my mates. He was like, "You're not socially awkward. You're one of the most like socially outgoing and adept people I know." And I kind of thought, like, I'm definitely masking with you lot in a way that it's hard to explain. Claire always gets. I was laughing because Claire always says I'm so different when I'm with my mates, and she finds it exhausting because I'm loud, I'm boisterous, and I'm generally silly. And then she's like, when you're with Kev, you were all just wacky and joking, and wacky's the wrong word because I hate wacky people. You know what I mean? We start riffing, we turn into Kev and Steve, old Sheepdog, and I was talking to one of them off stage about that. They didn't know what to call me. They were like, "Are you going to call you Sheepdog? Are we going to call you Steve? We're going to call you Richard?" And it was like, Sheepdog's kind of a haphazard character where everything goes wrong, and that's kind of the me that's left to his own devices and causes a massive train wreck everywhere he goes and drives to the wrong Westfield. Whereas, like, Bass, which is what my mates call me, is the loud, drinks to excess, creates carnage, is a mess, has World War III arguments, but then it turns it all into a massive joke or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like Bass is just rattling off jokes all the time and being funny and drinking lots and being loud and noisy and just being completely unpredictable. And the amount of times we meet up and they're coming up with things that I said or did years ago that make them laugh, like, just, I didn't know the words to a song, so I was just repeating the chorus of the song I think I basically took 3 words of a song and sang that song. I was singing that song to myself in a club where I danced to it, and I was just singing. I can't even remember the song specifically. I can, but I don't want to sing it on the vlog. And they loved that because it was just something ridiculous that they were just like, "What are you doing?" But it's stuff like that they just see as really funny. So that's me with them. But obviously, me at home is different. Claire always laughs that I talk to Ben in a certain voice, or that when I'm talking to the kids on the vlog, I talk in a different voice. And it is just millions of different versions of me. And I kind of forgot where I was going. I've got off on a bit of a tangent. But in this conversation with these people at this panel, it just felt like it was like, this makes so much sense because I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm listening to things people are worried about, and I just felt really good. So that's the long and short of it. I was absolutely buzzing after it. Loads of people come up to ask us questions. Someone asked me about writing, which I thought they've read. I'm hoping it's because they read my Twitter profile and they thought, oh, they asked me how they could adapt their writing a bit to include like neurodiverse characters without being too on the nose and being sort of stereotypical, but also without them just being looking like a normal, a neurotypical person who has some traits or something. And I said, well, I can't remember exactly the answer I gave. It was quite a long answer. I felt like I over talked because he was like, thank you. And then he walked off and I thought, oh, did I talk too long? But I was saying that the amount of times I'm reading or writing something or watching something, sorry, and I Google, is that character autistic? Because I wonder. The example I gave him was Elsa from Frozen. I don't think she's necessarily autistic, but I felt like the whole film was like I can't remember the right word. Is it metaphor? It's not a metaphor for it. Allegory, is that the word? I don't know. I might have got the word wrong, but it's like a parallel to having an autistic child or being autistic, depending on what perspective you're looking at, because her parents panicked about her, locked her away. She spent her whole life trying to constrain her outbursts and her abilities and feeling like an outcast. And then she's discovered that actually she's not an outcast. She's just slightly different. And she's got this neurodiverse life, let's say. And do you know what I mean? Both of those films were just like so clearly, obviously, down that route. And I went down a rabbit hole looking at it. So I was saying to them, I'm sure I can't remember exactly who it was. I read something about some of the people involved in it I think they were on the spectrum. I can't remember now. But anyway, obviously they didn't make a big deal of it in the film. They just did a story. And then I've taken that from it myself, and other people clearly have. And it's like, yeah, okay. And I said, so maybe that's what you want to be doing with your writing, getting to the point where you've written something. And if people start coming up to you and going, was that character autistic? You can go, yes, well noticed. And maybe you make a point of saying it's someone. They were like, they didn't want to be like hammering it on the nose. That's what they said. They didn't want to just be like, Jeff is an autistic man. And then every part, and then either people going, well, why didn't he show any signs of that in your story? Or why were you so stereotypical? Why were you suddenly making him remember things and be like a robot almost? And that's why he was struggling, because he was like, well, how do I write this without being accused of one thing or another? It's a tightrope, isn't it? It's a nightmare. So that was cool because I got to give a genuine thought and things I'd looked into, and it was ridiculous. I just felt like I had no right being there, but actually when I had my back against the wall, almost, it's probably not the right way of putting it, when I was in it, I felt really like I had something to say, and hopefully it was received. I can't wait for it to come out. I want to watch it back, because part of me worries that I watch it back and think, oh my God, I'm an idiot. I was awful. My perception of how that went was terrible. But I didn't get any negative feedback. It was all positive feedback. Rachel was like, I want to hear more from you. I want you to talk more. I want you to be more active. And I was like, bloody hell, I want to be more active. Like, I don't know where to start or what to do or how to get there or what to say. I've had some good ideas for videos. While I was driving back from Comic-Con, I kept thinking of things that I just don't understand. And I thought, do you know what? Being in a room with people asking us questions and us giving our thoughts on it, I have loads of questions about things that I just don't get. I can't see the logic in them. And they're like, I might do it. I've got a video in my head I'm planning on things that the world have created as rules that don't make sense to me. And I don't see, and I'd love someone to make them make sense, because they don't make sense. And I'm going to do a video about that. When I was driving, I had like 5 or 6 things. And I thought, if I can get that to a nice round 10, I could say 10 things I don't understand about the world. And that'd be quite a cool video, because, I think it's because it just doesn't fit with my perceptions and that. So anyway, I had a great time. It was a great weekend. I bought the book, which I think is on my shelf there. What is it called? It's called Sensory, Life on the Spectrum, which is a book that Schnumn, Bex, from the panel, she got, I think it was 39 other artists together. I talked about this on my Twitch stream last night. I'm trying to find out if you can get copies of it anywhere. I've asked her, and if I will put a tweet out if you can. But these 40 artists and gifted people made these individual sort of 2, 3, 4 page comics, put them all into a book, and it covers things like getting a diagnosis, how people felt when they were children, how they feel now they're adults, whether self-diagnosis is as valid as diagnosis, and spoiler, it is. That was something that made me feel good as well. I've always felt a bit guilty about kind of saying to people, I think I'm autistic, and then them being like, well, where's your doctor's note, kind of thing. But apparently that's quite common, because adult diagnoses don't happen easily, and in the UK we're lucky that I can get a 2-year waiting list to go talk to someone, but in a lot of countries you literally just have to self-diagnose and then do your best. So that was cool because they were like, it's definitely valid. It's basically the only option some people have. And they were very strong about that. And this book was very strong about that. And I know that feels a little bit like I'm going, this book's great because it agrees with me or it makes me feel better about myself. But that's not, I believed the opposite I was worried that I couldn't say anything until I had sat there in front of an expert. But actually, this has made me feel more like I can say, damn it, I am. And the thing is, I was like, I'm so sure I am anyway now because of the way I compare myself to Ollie and the fact that I have so many difficulties with stupid things. One thing I was talking to someone said to me, you got a new top? And I was like, you'll never believe the hassle I've been through. You'll know people. I know Andy's noted this because he pointed out before that I was wearing the same top 2 days in a row. And I was like, I'm not. This is a slight tangent. I'm so bad at buying clothes because they're never comfortable. I've got a massive, I've got a suitcase, a drawer, and a cupboard full of tops that I've bought, tried on and washed, and they've not fit, or they've not been right, or they've been uncomfortable. I'll be pulling them down or whatever. So they're just dead. They're in the pile of maybe I'll lose weight one day, or maybe I'll change my feelings somehow. And then I had like 5 tops that worked that I wore on rotation, but Claire was always like, I can't keep washing your clothes. It's really hard. You need to get more. And I kept getting more and then chucking them in the pile. And then I discovered randomly the other day that Giacomo had this one blue top I had. They had like 6 other colors of that or 7 other colors of that. And it was the exact same material. It feels exactly the same. So I just bought them. So I had like an orange one, a red one, a green one, a red and black one, a green and black one. And I was like, yes, boom, I've got enough a week's worth of clothes that I can now cycle through. And stuff like that. I'm like, it's hard. But that's stuff where I should have flagged that ages ago. When I was at uni with Kev, I wore the same jumper. We only were in uni 2 days a week. And I used to wear it to uni, put it in the wash, wear it to uni, put it in the wash, save it for the next uni day, put it in the wash. And literally that was all I ever wore. And yeah, it's just stuff like that is like so clearly obviously a problem or a difference or whatever. And we just assumed I didn't like clothes shopping at first, and now it's like, no, I get it now. Now I'm unpicking stuff like that. It makes sense. So anyway, I feel like this was a very, very positive weekend for me in terms of just feeling a bit more free about my thoughts and processing them. But I also feel like I've started a new hole almost because I'm like, oh, I should be doing more. I need to be doing more. Kev was joking. I need Claire or Pab to be my manager. He said, Pab's too expensive. I can't afford Pab. So I said to Claire, you have to be my manager. And she was like, I haven't got time to manage you. She's already managing a household while I gallivant off doing other things. So I need to self-manage and I need to figure out a plan. I scribbled down a plan. I'm doing my vlog in my lunch hour now, and then after work I'm going to try and edit stuff and get stuff finished. I'm trying to clear my pile down. I'm not allowed to start anything new until I've cleared my pile down, so that's the plan at the moment. But yeah, it was just a generally all-round positive weekend. I feel like I gained a lot from it, and I met some amazing people. And if the panel comes out, I'll share it. I think you'll enjoy it. I'll share it if it doesn't. I mean, Kev will share it either way, but I'll share it if I don't look like an absolute moron in it. I'm trying really hard not to be self-conscious. I'm sure it'll be fine. I think it went really well, and yeah, I'm a bit tired today, but yesterday I was absolutely buzzing. I feel like the high from it was still there. It's starting to ease off now, and I'm starting to just feel a little bit knackered. But I've just rattled off a 20-minute vlog, so yeah, I'm not that knackered, I guess. I hope you're all well. Let me know how your weekend's gone since we last spoke. Let me know how you're getting on. If you were at Comic-Con, how did you find it? If you were at the talk, how did you find it? What are your thoughts on what I've said? I do feel like I need to have some conversations with people. I didn't bring it up with my mates the other week. I just didn't in the end. I was like, when he said, that was a tangent when he said I wasn't so sure, because I was kind of like, I bloody am, and I won't go into it now, but I don't know how to breach it with them. I'll probably wait until it's official with them because they'll be more skeptical and it'd be too hard to kind of get it all lined up. But family, I think they're already on board. I worry about work a little bit. That was brought up in a meeting the other day, that I don't come to any of the socials, and I was like, no. I said I'm not a sociable person, and I was like, I am, just don't want to go to an undefined drinking night that has no end, and I don't know who's going to be there, and I don't know where we're going to be, and it's going to be literally all over the place. They were like, oh, he comes to the football though. When it's a free football match, he goes, and I'm thinking, yeah, that 90-minute match where I get to go to a stadium, sit in the stadium, and then sit in the bar nearby, and then go home with people that are clearly defined because they've got tickets. That's a lot different to just turning up in London and having 1 million people turn up at this pub, and it just never end. And every time you try and go, someone try. Oh yeah, I'm not getting into it because I'm trying to wrap up. But yeah, I need to have a conversation at some point that says the reason that's so confusing to you is because I'm neurodiverse. Let's say that's probably the best way of putting it while I wait for the diagnosis. But I don't know how to bring that up because I think they'll immediately go, well, I need a doctor's note before I start giving you any kind of accommodations, and I haven't got that yet. So yeah, let's wait and see. I wish that the system was quicker. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up there because I've talked your ears off. I hope you're all well. As I say, I will either do the vlog that I talked about on Wednesday, or I might just, it depends what happens between now and then. Or what day is it? I don't even know. Anyway, I'll do, yeah, it's Thursday I vlog. I was like, what's going on? A Thursday's vlog. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up there. Thanks very much. I'll see you all soon. Have a good week. Cheers.